So today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about a camping and hiking trip that I took with my dad, and what my takeaways were from this trip, how I related them to my business, and how I can maybe implement them into my business to help me grow. Now, it's always great to get away. You come back just feeling refreshed, have so many creative ideas, and also being with my dad, he's an entrepreneur and consultant, and he's done a lot of different things. So it's great to listen to his view on things, I guess you could say, or it's kind of like a mentor for my business as well and for me personally. So I really, really had a good time. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. Hello, you're listening to Business Building by Design with your host, Emily Jansen McGrath. I'm an entrepreneur, designer, mom, business coach, and lover of all things beautiful. Are you feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or don't know if you're in the right place or going in the right direction? Then you found me. I'm here to help you with everyday struggles, business solutions, and so much more. If you're ready to find actionable solutions, laugh, and maybe on occasion have a good cry, then you've come to the right place. So sit back and relax, or put your walking shoes on, and let's go. So this is episode 15, Adventures in Hiking and Camping in the Mountains with my daddy. So last week, my daddy and I took a little trip. So kudos to Dad for putting it all together. He's always told us that he was the original Boy Scout. And my dad is an Eagle Scout from way back, an entrepreneur, educator, consultant, and daddy to 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. I guess most of our family has really grown up appreciating the outdoors, hiking, camping, and being in nature. My dad lives and has lived away from us for about 20 years or so we aren't able to see him as often as we'd like, so this was a really good trip and a little overdue. So about a little over a year ago, we talked about hiking and camping and taking a trip in the Appalachian Mountains, the Smoky Mountains. He's done most of those trails for many, many times, but due to work obligations, COVID, it's been a while for all of us. And of course, I'm always up for a trip. If you know me, you know that I love to travel. After that talk, I started receiving items in the mail. It was like Christmas time. One day, a pair of hiking boots showed up, and then my Deuter backpack, and then a set of hiking poles. And that's when I said, so I guess we're going. All right. Yippee. So after I received all that gear, it started arriving, and I called Daddy and I said, I love my gear. And so we started planning. He started sending me hikes to watch on YouTube and Instagram, articles, etc. There's all this great information out there. So if you do want to do a hike or a camping trip, go check it out. I mean, there's just a plethora of information out there. And it's all really, really good. You can pick particular hikes. You can see what gear you need, what you need for camping. All of that is out there and available to you. So we're a very research and informational based family. We always have been. We're educators. We believe in researching things before we do it. Of course, sometimes I like to just jump in there. But with camping and hiking, that's not something that you really want to do. You really want to plan, and you need to plan thoroughly because you have to make sure that you have plenty of food, plenty of water resources, also where you're going to stay and where you can camp, because so many areas now you have to get permits, you have to have permission to set up. So all that is, very, very much research and informational based. You need to make sure that you plan that trip thoroughly. So kudos to him for planning all that. If you'd like to see more about our trip, pictures, videos, and follow our adventures, then head over to our Facebook page and our Instagram page at Business Building by Design with Emily Jansen McGrath. I've been posting little snippets here and there. We also have a private Facebook page if you would like to be a part of that. Then our Business Building by Design, you can request to be in that private Facebook page. And on that Facebook page, you get extra information, maybe see things before everyone else does. So it's a great way to receive information from us. And we've got some great things that are about to happen. So head over there and make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So all that said, I wanted to give you some takeaways that I took away from this trip. The first one is it's so important to unplug and have downtime. In this crazy world and wild ride that we call life, we can get so caught up in everyday mundane rat race, just trying to compete, get ahead, or just be sure everybody has what they need or what they want. Now, my children are all over the age of 21, but they still need me from time to time. And ladies, if you have small children, I've been there. Believe me, I know the struggle. But it doesn't matter what season you're at in your life, you need to make sure that you have some time for you and some time to unplug and just be. And I've talked a lot about this before in our podcast, but it's so important, and you'll find that you come away from that downtime just fully refreshed, new energy, new thoughts, new creative ideas. It's just a great thing to do. So, number one, unplug and have downtime. So, secondly, some things are just out of our control, and we have to trust in God's divine will for our lives. Now, look, we were camping. I mean, really camping, like no shower for 5 days, i.e., no cell service, no Wi Fi, no internet. So, we had the music of nature, the running streams, waterfalls, birds singing, chipmunks. And I'm not going to lie, this was very much a real struggle for me the first few days. I mean, even Daddy commented on it. I was very anxious because I'm not accustomed to being able to not communicate with my people. I had no contact with my business, family, and it was tough stuff. So around day 3, I began to settle down and just deal with it. I thought, this is ridiculous, Emily. Get a hold of yourself. But, you know, it's just a weird vibe when we're so caught up. And I guess that's what really made me think I need to do this more often, because it made me really anxious. And I should not have been that way. And so finally I was just like, look, you got to deal with it, sister, and just trust that God's got this. And I did. I settled down after a couple of days. Now, be it we did drive in a time or two just to check messages and check on our people and make sure that everything was okay. But nothing was life-threatening. Nothing happened that we could even do anything about. So, you know, just some things are out of our control. And I think that was such a good reminder, and that was almost like God just slapping me in the face saying, look, sister, you got to trust me. So that was number 2. So number 1, it's important to unplug and have downtime. But 2, some things are out of our control, and we have to just trust God's will for our lives. Number 3, this is one of my all-time favorite quotes. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. Yes. What does that mean? I'm a full believer that people that I have around me, the people that surround me, are my top people. I left my assistant, Heather, and you've met her in episode 3, Wind Down Wednesday. She's my lifeline, my confidant, my organizer, my best friend. Saying this, you need a Heather in your life, and if you don't have one, I have full faith that she could handle anything that came up in the business. And let me tell you, I would not have survived our week in the woods without my dad, the first Boy Scout. So if you don't have a Heather, you need to get one. But again, back to my quote, you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. You know, you want to have people around you that are skilled, knowledgeable people, because they contribute to you. I mean, you talk about a great brainstorming session, and like this week, being able to talk to my dad about business and life, it was a really great time because we don't get to do that very often. And I love to hear his thoughts. I love to weigh them with the thoughts that I have or the ideas that I have, and then together we can create a plan. So you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. You'll hear me say that a lot. Number 4, having the right tools aren't any good if you don't know how to use them. On the second day, we were completing a pretty rigorous hike. And when I say rigorous, my dad's almost 70. He runs 6 miles a day, and he was kicking my ass, okay? That day, we walked around 20,000 steps. And according to his Garmin, we climbed 161 flights of stairs. It was like every time we turn around, there were more, like, steps up. altitude of around 3,400, I believe. My thighs, my calves, my hips, my ankles were all feeling pretty rebellious that evening. But just so about halfway up, we get up to our hike, and I started developing a blister on my hand. And I spoke this out loud, and Dad said, "It's because you're holding your wrist strap incorrectly." Well, duh. This totally eliminated the problem. Praise the Lord, because I did not want blisters. Blisters are the worst. And with that said, it doesn't matter if you have all the right gear, all the right tools for your business, unless you know how to use them or have one of your people that's very knowledgeable about these tools, then you develop blisters and they don't work. So with that said, make sure you have the right tools, but also make sure that you or someone on your team knows how to use them and implement them, because they're not any good to you. Without them, you've got blisters. Number 5, be ready for anything. During our hike, the last day, we were chatting, we were hiking up to Grotto Falls, the waterfalls, and this is along the Trillium Trail leading up to Mount LeConte. And at the top of Mount LeConte is a lodge. And you can't drive there. You have to complete an 8 or so mile hike to be able to stay there. And along the falls, the trail up to Mount LeConte is where they take camels, and they're used to bring supplies up to the lodge. So it's really, really cool. And the camels were there, but we missed them. We didn't get to see them going up, but we did see the trailer, and they were there. But Daddy's seen it, but I have not. But I'll put that in the link in the show notes if you're interested in doing that hike or staying at Mount LeConte. It's really cool. That's our goal for maybe next year. But anywho, about 2 miles in, we rounded a corner. And lo and behold, standing there was a black bear. Yes, he was standing tall. And yes, I said a bear. He was about a year old. Dad stopped dead in his tracks and started backing away. And he stood about 4.5 feet tall. And he was waiting on us because he was curious. He had heard us talking. But we weren't worried about this bear. But we were worried about Mama Bear. She had to be somewhere close. And in that instant, I was thinking, oh no, I can't get to my camera. But wait, do I need to run? No. So we got big. We spread out, blew our whistle, and talked really loud. And I saw Mama Bear, and they kind of meandered off down into the woods. But wow, what an experience. And with that said, be ready for anything. The unexpected can turn into something magical, or it can be the best experience. And that was a great experience for me, because just being able to be in God's nature and see his creatures, and they weren't going to harm us unless we were trying to harm them. So we just kind of backed away, and they just kind of moseyed on off. So, but be ready for anything, especially in your business, because anything can happen at any time. But a lot of times those unexpecteds are the best things ever. So number 6, change is inevitable, but hold true to who you are. I have to say that one of our favorite things to do when we go to the mountains is eat at the Pancake Pantry in downtown Gatlinburg. Now, this has been a family tradition for over 50 years, and even though Gatlinburg has changed quite a bit and not so much to our taste, we still have our little nugget inside the town. You better get there early, expect to wait, and let me tell you, order the wild blueberry pancakes with 2 eggs over easy, or my daddy's favorite is the buckwheat pancakes with 2 eggs over easy. You won't regret it, and I'll put the link in the show notes. If you've never been there, you need to go. But change is inevitable. It's not always what we expect it to be, but it's going to happen. And our job is to embrace it, but also stick to what we know is true, stick to what we love, and still enjoy those things, just like our Pancake Pantry. So needless to say, our trip was amazing. Yes, the bears might have run because we smelled so bad, but these moments are something that we'll remember for a lifetime, and I'm sharing them with you, hoping that you'll get away from the hustle and bustle and have some downtime too, and maybe have a great experience just like I did. I look forward to chatting with you again, and if you'd like to hear more of our adventures and grow your business with us, then be sure to follow or subscribe to this podcast, Business Building by Design with Emily Jansen McGrath. So let me take you back through just a couple of the points that I told you today. Number 1, it's important to unplug and have downtime. Number 2, some things are out of our control, and we just have to trust God's divine will for our lives. Thirdly, You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, so choose wisely. Number 4, having the right tools aren't any good if you don't know how to use them. We don't want those blisters. Number 5, be ready for anything because some great things are going to be happening. Number 6, change is inevitable, but hold true to who you are. So these are some great takeaways for me. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story. And if you like listening with us, then leave us a review. And you can also join our social community on Facebook and Instagram as well. Also, if you'd like to be a part of our email group, then I'm going to have the link in the show notes as well. So, all my love, and I look forward to talking to you soon. We really hope you've enjoyed listening to today's podcast, and we look forward to hanging out with you again soon. If you've loved this podcast or you've related to us in any way, leave us a review and let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to connect with us more, go to our Instagram page at rowan.house or Business Building by Design and our Facebook page as well. We look forward to seeing you soon.